In the Impact segment tonight, President Barack Obama leaving the Beltway today. He set out on his 3-day bus tour in the Midwest. First stop, Cannon Falls, Minnesota, where he defended big government.
You'll hear a lot of folks, by the way, say, that government is broken. Well, government and politics are two different things. Government is Social Security. Government are teachers in the classroom. Government are our firefighters and our police officers and the folks who keep our water clean and our air clean to breathe. So don't be confused. As frustrated as you are about politics, don't buy into this notion that somehow government is what's holding us back.
I need to buy a vowel after that. But do the folks approve of the president's message? After his job approval rating dropped to an all-time low of 39% in yesterday's Gallup tracking poll, today the president's job approval climbed meteorically to 41%. 52% disapprove. Joining us now with reaction, Fox News contributors Mary Catherine Ham with me here in Washington, and from L.A., Leslie Marshall. Great to see both of you. Okay, Leslie, I'm going to start with you, okay, because we need to all come together. Left coast, right coast. Why is a bus tour really worth the president's time? I mean, he's traveling 115 miles today on a bus. Doesn't he have something better to do than be on a bus for, I don't know, 3 hours?
I think no matter what he does, there's somebody out there going to think there's something better. When he sits behind the desk in the Oval Office inside the Beltway, Laura, people are saying left and right he's not in touch with the American people. And I honestly think after this debt ceiling debacle, which is clearly what it was, a circus, I think it's essential in his responsibility as president to get out and to speak to the people so the people can hear him, and he doesn't just hear the people via polls, because clearly left and right, Congress wasn't listening to what America wanted when it came to the debt ceiling. America really wanted a clean, straight or up or down vote. So the president needs to be out there to speak to them. And this is not about campaigning. He did this in the spring. He did 3 states in the Midwest in the spring. So to me, this is no surprise.
I mean, okay, let's go to this, Mary Catherine, because the Republicans are just wrapping up their big weekend. I just interviewed Governor Branstad on my radio show this morning. He said he don't want any part of this bus tour. They apparently emailed his communications people. He's like, well, I'm busy. I have something to do at the state fair. So he didn't take part in this. This isn't political?
Yeah, they say it's not political, so the taxpayer dollars can pay for the buses, but that's part of being president. You go on these political swings. You get to do that.
Too much of it.
Exactly. So, but knock me over with a feather, Laura. The president sees a problem and then goes out and gives a speech. So that's what we're getting from him. Doesn't really bother me because I'm not sure he does any more good here. But the New York Times rolled out this weekend talking about some of the things he's contemplating are a second round of stimulus and maybe making a new federal agency out of parts of Commerce and U.S. Trade Representative. So I think the only person maybe who's going to have a job created here is the guy who sticks the Obama 2012 decal on the giant bus. Well, that guy will have a job.
Well, the bus is a pretty cool bus, I've got to say. I'm into buses. I think this bus is really cool. It's only at $1.1 million. I think someone said it was $2 or $3 million.
Well, it'll be used for other presidents.
Right. It's a bus that gets used. So I mean, come on, we can't make too much of it. It's not like we're in a bad deficit situation here in the United States. But Leslie, when you look at this, when you look at this, I mean, I'm actually not making more of this than it is. The president can do this kind of stuff, and this does happen during election years where presidents of the United States show up in places that may or may not have political implications, and other presidents have done the same thing. But let's talk about what the new tactic is here for the administration politically, because there was politics discussed today. Part of what is being said now, especially about people like Perry, because they see him as a big threat, is that, well, he is not really part of job creation. Perry's not about job creation. It was the stimulus bill, a lot of defense money. It was kind of NASA, and it's oil and gas. Leslie, do you think that's a really strong message against Perry when you're the president of the United States presiding over pretty high unemployment and a lot of consumer angst out there?
Well, yes, I do, Laura, actually, because the president is not the one that's held back the jobs. I haven't seen one jobs bill from the Republicans that were elected in by the American people who threw so many Democrats out because they wanted the economy to improve, which it hasn't, and they wanted to have a decrease in unemployment and more jobs created, which have not been. I mean, the president, yes, he's the president of the United States, but without the people in the House and the Senate doing their job for their constituents that they promised when they were elected, you know, he can't take a pen and sign air, and that's really what's
so he doesn't have any influence over
right.
He doesn't have any influence over the process as president of the United States, the strongest economy.
He has an
in the world,
influence
biggest
over the
military.
process. He has an influence over the process, but I have to say, and I'm angry with my party as well, when it came to this last, the whole deficit, debt ceiling debacle, left and right cared more about politics than the will of the American people. So I think the president's speaking to that.
Yeah,
he was removed from the situation. Look, Barack Obama's bag of tricks, I think, is mostly empty. And if you'll remember, the super awesome jobs bill that he got was the stimulus. So I think it's perfectly natural that people are extremely skeptical when he goes to them again and says, we need to do that again. And I think it's a really hard argument for Democrats to make and liberals to make. I've been hearing it all weekend about how, well, sure, Rick Perry's state has a lot of jobs, but we have this program where there are none. I mean, I just don't think it's.
No, but they're also saying, it's actually amazing political jujitsu.
Right.
I don't care if you're left or right. It's amazing. He's saying, well, it's the stimulus bill that created a good percentage of these jobs, so it's actually Barack Obama deserves the credit for Texas job creation. So you can't have it both ways. You can't own none of the responsibility for the downturn, but take all of the credit for the one state that's showing the real vibrancy.
I think he knows that he can't have too much impact because right now he's pushing patent reform, which, although it's not a terrible idea, it's not exactly lighting anybody on fire. Not a big thing.
Oh, come on, all you patent lawyers out there are bristling at Mary Catherine's comments. Ladies, thanks so much. And Leslie, thanks so much. And plenty more ahead as the Factor moves along this evening.